Good morning, everyone. Today is the 24th of January, and I again have no makeup on. That's okay. I got some time. I've been wanting to do a video. I know I'm not live yet, but at least I'm posting videos. I wanted to talk about miscarriage in this video. Some people know that I was expecting twins. Their actual due date, was actually tomorrow. Well, their first due date was today. Their second due date was tomorrow. And, it's been, putting me in a weird mood. There's times I'm okay. I totally talk about it and be fine. And then there's times I find myself sad and I feel lonely. I have a service dog now, so Diesel definitely helps. I love that little bugger. And I've got my 4-year-old who definitely helps. He definitely was wanting them. When he found out, especially that they were boys, he got really sad. But I kind of wanted to make a video about miscarriage and kind of my experience, and so if anybody else going through any of it can find some help with how I dealt with it. My bad. I'm still drinking my yerba mate. Oh, it's backwards. Whatever. Anyway. So, something that happened to me was I found out I was supposed to be pregnant on May 26th, day after my anniversary. I knew for about a month that I was pregnant. I kept telling people I'm pregnant. I feel it. I knew it. I swear I knew the day. And I was super excited, but also super scared because it wasn't planned. I fought with feelings of, we're not ready for this, but situationally, I shouldn't let a situation scare me. Money can always be made. Situations change. As long as you strive for the better, you can do it. So we decided to keep them. And we're super excited about them. I was hoping that they were girls, or at least one was a girl and one was a boy. I was scared to have 2 boys. I told everyone I was going to cry if I ended up with 2 boys because I didn't want to have 3 boys. Not that I didn't want them, but you know what I mean. So when we found out that, there were twins, it scared the crap out of us. But we took it fine, kept going, kept rolling with it. I kept working, had morning sickness like no other. Everything made me sick, but I was getting through it. I think I had entered my second trimester and started to feel a little bit better, but I was cramping a lot. And I had been spotting throughout the entire pregnancy, but everyone told me it was fine, especially in the first, trimester. Well, let's see, it was the 20th of August at 4 a.m. I was sleeping and I had been bleeding actually. I take that back. Okay, so I had been bleeding since Tuesday. I don't know what the date of that was, but the Tuesday before the 20th in August was when I started bleeding, spotting, and it progressively got worse. I went to the emergency room. They said everything was fine. I got looked at. Everything was fine. I kept calling the advice nurse. I swear I called the advice nurse every single day just to make sure I was fine. Talked to a doctor. Bleeding stopped for a little bit. It lightened up. Everything was good. And then all of a sudden, at 4 o'clock in the morning, I got contractual cramping. And I thought I was just gas at first. But then it kept going. And the bleeding got heavier. And, well, I don't know. I just decided to go to the emergency room at that point. I left with nothing. I mean, the clothes on my back, I thought they were going to tell me I was fine again. I get there, they get me into the ultrasound. They, then the ultrasound technician leaves the room for a second, talks to the doctor, comes back in, tells me I'm good to go back to the room. Doctor will come talk to me in a little bit. Then I had Dr. Harper, amazing woman. I love her to death. Best OBG I have ever found. And her crew. I wish I could remember all the nurses' names, but because of everything that was going on, it was just so hard. But Dr. Harper comes in, she holds my hand, and she tells me that I'm bleeding and I'm losing the babies. And that there's only a couple things that they might be able to do, but she has to talk to the high-risk pregnancy doctor who specializes in high risks and twins, who I hadn't seen yet, at least at Kaiser, because I was in this transition between Sutter and Kaiser, so it was just really up in the air. So then we go, and she talks to the person or whatever, and she comes back and she says, okay, well, the things we could do, which is tying up your cervix, they stitch up your cervix to keep the babies in. We can't do while, one, because you have twins, and two, while you're bleeding this bad, because we could just sew you up and then the blood just sits there and then it's not good. So that's when she, told me, well, you're going to have to deliver them. And I was scared. I had no idea what that meant. I knew I had to deliver them, but I didn't know if they could just cut them out of me or what. And I'm sorry if I'm gruesome, but this is just me. I guess I should make a disclaimer before I post this. Anyway, so I go upstairs to labor and delivery, and they weren't supposed to send me up there because I wasn't fully, I think I was 17 weeks. So we get up there and they get me all comfy, and, I had no one there with me. I was in the emergency room by myself. My husband was at work. I called all my best friends. They were, one was trying to get off work to get to me. One was at work. She couldn't get off. And then one was in Sonoma coming to see me. So they all came, finally. Everyone got there, and, I was really uncomfortable, and I kept taking the fentanyl because I wasn't ready for the epidural. I just wasn't, I was in this disbelief. I couldn't believe that I was about to lose my babies. It was just what? No. I was healthy. I had a healthy pregnancy before. Why is this happening? And, my husband wasn't there yet because he was still at work. He had to work until 3. He got off, he came straight there. They weren't coming. I was really uncomfortable. I finally got the epidural when he got there. My friend's family and my mom, everybody, they came to my rescue and stayed with me. My mother-in-law stayed with my son, which was great because I just didn't want him traumatized. I didn't want him seeing me in pain. So I asked her to keep him there, and I'm glad that I did that. So anyway, 6:00 in the morning, Steve was having to get ready to go to work because he works at 6:45. Well, I guess it was 5:45. I start getting really, really uncomfortable. I asked the nurse, I said, hey, can you help me position? She helped me position. She walked out of the door, and I literally hit the button again and had her come back in. And she was like, you okay? And I was like, I think I just felt a whoosh. And that's what they were telling me to look for. And, being numb, I kept calling. I called at least 30 times the entire time I was there. Every time I felt something, I was calling. Great nurses, though. They were amazing. So then the whoosh comes. They get the doctor, and they said, okay, you're ready. It's going to happen. Thankfully, my husband hadn't gone to work yet, but they were delivered at 6:00. It was 5:59, 6:00, 6:05, something like that. They were born. And that was really hard. um, it took me until probably the next day, or later in the day, I should say, because I didn't even want to stay in the hospital overnight. They wanted me to stay because I had to do a membrane sweep. But I didn't want, I was like, no, I don't want to stay. I want to go home. I want to sleep in my own bed. I'll look out for infection. Like, I don't want to, just let me go. So, we named the boys Connor and Murphy, because that's when we found out they were boys. It killed me that Ronan would have been so excited to have brothers. But anyway, so I really think that it was a culmination of the eclipse and stuff. I mean, a lot of people think I'm crazy, but the eclipse and stuff has pulls. There's energy in the universe. So that's just all I'm going to say about that. And it's my own beliefs. And if you don't, think the same way, well, guess what? We can agree to disagree, right? You don't have to change my mind. So I've got these 2 angel babies, and if and when we choose to have another child, it'll be a rainbow child. So I just wanted to make a little video about my experience with having my miscarriage. If you need any advice or need to talk or just need to tell your story to me, I'm totally here for you. I found out afterwards that it was way more common that people are having miscarriages. Like, it's just something that a lot of people don't talk about. But anyway, thanks for staying if you stayed this long. I really appreciate it. And I hope everyone has a blessed day. And yeah, it's just really hard some days. Just so you know, you'll get through it. Just know that your angel baby's there. And don't be afraid to talk about it. And just know that the universe or God or whatever you believe in has a plan for you. It won't give you what you can't handle, and it'll give you what you can handle. So, I'm going to love Connor and Murphy forever and ever. And, anyway, sorry. I hope everyone has a good day, and, hit me up if you need any help or want to talk or have questions, or I'll talk about it. So, all right. Love you all. All right. Bye.